Do you have?
Yeah. Liberal clerk who leaked this. Do you have information that suggests that?
Because I'm not a moron. Because I live on planet Earth.
Well,
because
Senator,
well, you can ask your question, but you
I
don't get to interrupt.
Evidence. Correct.
Because this is obviously an attempt from someone who is unhappy about the direction the court is going to put political pressure on the justices to change their outcome. That is the only reason this gets leaked. And you know that. Come on, you're a reporter in Washington, D.C.
Can I offer you a different scenario?
Sure, let me hear your spin.
That was the reflection of a previous draft. One of the justices changed their views, and that a conservative who supported the original decision wants to lock them back in. That's a completely reasonable scenario, isn't it?
You know what? I find that ludicrous, but if it's the case, maybe you'll win a Pulitzer for that.
There's Ted Cruz arguing with a reporter talking about, again, this theory about the leak of that draft memo from the Supreme Court. There's talking about their plans to overturn Roe versus Wade. Of course, it's still a lib law clerk. And his reasonings, his evidence, his basis for his entire argument is, it's obvious. I'm not stupid. I mean, it's pretty obvious. And then when the reporter pushes back with, which I don't even think he should even have had to float another suggestion is, well, let's hear your spin. This is an attorney. I guess there's a reason why he doesn't practice is that he's gone to politics instead is because he doesn't argue very well. That's the basis for his argument, that he's gonna vehemently tell people that's what happened because I'm not stupid, because look, it's obvious. Is that really the basis for an argument? Is that evidence? Doesn't matter. Let's go to some of the things that that he also said before. This isn't the first time he's gone through these types of hoops and hurdles to try to prove this point. So here's Texas Senator Ted Cruz on Sunday. This is before on a Fox interview, said that he did not think any of the Supreme Court justices leaked the draft opinion overturning Roe versus Wade, pointing a finger at law clerks for the liberal justices. I do not believe any justice did it. I think it would be unimaginable for a justice to do this, of that leak. And he said this on Sunday Morning Futures. So let's start off with who has access to this opinion. It's a very small pool of suspects. The court itself is a small institution. It's a big building, but small institution. When you finish with a draft, every law clerk has under his or her desk a burn bag, is what he explained. You put it in there. That burn bag is later sealed, it's shredded, and in fact, it's shredded twice. It's shredded horizontally, it's shredded vertically, and then it's burned. So I guess him talking about the different angles of shredding has something to do with his argument. I don't know how, but let's finish this on. It was almost certainly one of those 36 law clerks. And I think it's almost certainly one of the 12 law clerks that are clerking for the 3 liberal justices. This is a small suspect pool, according to you. Cruz went on to say that many of the clerks are book smart, but not street smart, because Ted Cruz is. I'm confident we don't have a master criminal working here at the court. I think they're going to be electronic records. And lastly, since that leak, Chief Justice John Roberts has ordered an investigation to find the source of their breach. Now, whichever one of these theories may end up coming out, David, I get the feeling if it doesn't go in Ted Cruz's favor, we may not hear from Ted Cruz anymore about this. Because again, like we talked about Lindsey Graham earlier, he and Cruz are the self-promotion senators who are not really liked very much. So they have to continue to go back to their constituents with as many lies as possible and pushing how they're fighting for the American people.
Well, one can only wish that we would never hear from Ted Cruz again. And it's so funny that there he is saying that I'm not a moron, and then he refers to the Pulitzer Prize. No, you moron, it's Pulitzer Prize. You know anything, you know it's Pulitzer, not Pulitzer. Secondly, if I just wish Ted Cruz would be as frustrated over the leak that went to the Wall Street Journal a week before Politico had this story, in which the Wall Street Journal had an op-ed that was talking about how Chief Justice Roberts was lobbying very heavily of Brett Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett to sort of change their positions. Well, where did that leak come from? And that suggests, in fact, that there was a conservative who was worried that they were gonna lose their initial majority that they had to overturn Roe. And they were trying to get it out there to the Wall Street Journal conservative opinion page that, hey, there may be some danger here, we gotta be careful with these 2 justices. And so there was an effort to put pressure on Kavanaugh and Barrett to freeze them back into where they were. That makes perfectly plausible sense. It doesn't make sense for anybody who's trusting Ted Cruz on any of this.
I wonder, again, we have like these competing theories. So the theory that says it's a law clerk or a Supreme Court clerk, and they just want to make sure one then comes and intimidates these justices into voting the other way. Why would that work? Why would that work? So if then that goes to that direction, again, a law clerk who thinks this is a full plan to have this happen this way, do they really think then if that works from public pressure, then the Supreme Court goes back to what they believe everyone else would be happy with. Isn't that something that would blow up the court? That's a bad plan. But actually trying to get all this pressure on the Supreme Court justice not to switch kind of makes more sense to me, but then maybe I'm just biased. I get it, but that's why I'm not giving either one of these scenarios as the definite. Let's just find out and see what happens, honestly.
I think from now on, we should just call him Moron Ted, because he's not a moron, but actually he is a moron and we all know it.
He'll push it every time.